What's up, everybody? Welcome to 5 Picks in 5 Minutes from the Action Network. I am Chris Raybon here with Grant Neiffer, Kyle Murray. For all of our picks, there's a link in the episode description with our bets. You can quickly and easily add them to your bet slip, so be sure to check out for that. Grant, you're up first. Pick number 1. Where are you going?
All right, I'm going with J.J. McCarthy, 40-plus pass attempts. You can get this at plus 850 over at Bet365. You can get it plus 600 over at DK. I like him in both spots. McCarthy's going to be throwing the ball a lot, I think, in this spot. The Ravens defense has not been great this season, and they're probably going to put up a lot of points with Lamar in there. We've seen the Ravens give up 40-plus points multiple times this season when Lamar is putting up points. McCarthy looked really good last year. He has some great weapons in Hawkinson, Addison, Jefferson, so he's probably going to throw the ball a lot. Don't look at his game log. I know he hadn't done a lot in terms of passing, but those games were kind of in hand, and he was kind of figuring stuff out. So McCarthy, 40-plus pass attempts, love it in the spot.
Yeah, I think the Vikes were undervalued last week. That led to fewer pass attempts. They had the game in hand. This week might be a little overvalued, so I like that. Kyle, where you going?
Yeah, I'm going to a spot where I've been called a chalk donkey by our producer, Gifford, behind the scenes. But I'm taking the Lions -8. I like this spot quite a bit. The Lions have a couple of incentives to go out there and really try to put up a big number here against Washington. Obviously, Commanders knocked them out of the playoffs last year. Since 2022 with Dan Campbell as the head coach for the Lions, they're 12-0 after a loss against the spread and straight up. So obviously the Lions like to put up points any week, but when they get a little bit of added motivation, I think they have even more incentive to go out there and put up a big number. Also got a lot of criticism in the media this week for not making trades, and I think that they kind of took offense to that. So I think that they're going to be a very motivated team in this one. I think they're obviously the better team as well, with Jaden Daniels and several other options hurt for this Washington team. So give me the Lions -8.
Yeah, and probably most importantly, Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker practiced on Thursday. For a while, it was looking like they were going to have pretty much all 5 offensive linemen out, but those guys are elite. So Lions looking good there. I'm going to roll with James Cook. Speaking of elite, he's been an elite touchdown scorer this year. I'm going to go with 2 or more touchdowns at plus 290. Cook has already done it 25% of the time, and I think he has elevated chances in this game. This is a game against the Miami Dolphins. Terrible run defense that the Bills should have in hand. And last week, kind of expected Josh Allen to take more control of it, with the Chiefs being a team that's kind of a playoff type of atmosphere. Allen always runs more in those spots. But here, against the lowly Dolphins, I think Cook will get it back and be able to get to the end zone multiple times and not get vultured by guys like Ty Johnson. So give me some James Cook, 2+ touchdowns at plus 290. Grant, finish us off with Banger.
All right, Jordan Addison TD. You can find this between plus 180 to plus 205. I mean, again, I'm really high on the Vikings this week. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. It's a high-scoring game. Addison, 22 touchdowns in 38 career games. He's been an absolute touchdown monster. Dropped one last week in the end zone. So he's still getting that volume. Should be used heavily in this spot. Plus 200 is far too high.
Speaking of drops in the end zone, Kyle, where are you going with your second pick?
Yeah, to offset some of my chalkiness, I'm going with a long shot here. A.D. Mitchell, anytime touchdown, 16-1, 13-1 on some spots. But this is obviously a long shot for a reason. A.D. Mitchell recently traded over to the Jets at the deadline. I think it's more of a throw-in. The Colts are like, hey, we want to get rid of this guy, take him off our hands. But there's a really good chance that A.D. Mitchell is the second most talented receiver in this receiving room. I don't think he instantly steps into that wide receiver 2 role because it is a quick turnaround, but I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of weeks if there's a spot where he is that wide receiver 2 from a volume perspective. But I think there's a couple of chances that they look to get him involved and maybe see what they have with him. Aaron Glenn came out on the podium today, gave him some nice praise to A.D. Mitchell, whether it might be true or not. But regardless, I think that this is a spot where the long shot is at least worth some of the juice here at 16-1. So give me A.D. Mitchell anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah, that's definitely sneaky. I do think he is the second most talented receiver in that room. Parlay time. McCarthy, 40+ attempts. James Cook, 2+ touchdowns. A.D. Mitchell, anytime touchdown. You can get that at 320-1 at DraftKings. That is just absurd. Let's get on that. 320-1. McCarthy, 40+ attempts. James Cook, 2+ touchdowns. A.D. Mitchell, anytime touchdown. This has been 5 picks in 5 minutes. I am Chris Raybon for Grant Neiffer and Kyle Murray. Let's get this shmoney.